Hi Dover residents, we are Dover College Promise High School students and we just finished an amazing project to celebrate the 300th year anniversary of Dover.
It is a 25-minute historical video that we're going to present at the Dover High School Auditorium on Thursday, December 15th at 7 p.m.
When the first Europeans came to this supposed new world in the early 1700s, they encountered a people who had already lived here for 12,000 years and had established a rich world of their own. The Lenni Lenape.
So now let's talk about how Dover actually started. In the year 1713, Joseph Laham acquired the land through the proprietors of West Jersey. In the year 1722, he then deeded 527 acres of that land over to John Jackson of Flushing, New York.
The 19th century was truly the key to the development of our town because of the wave of people who immigrated to Dover from all over the world to work in the iron industry. The arts flourished in Dover during this time, with the opening of the Moeller and the Baker opera houses. On July 31st, 1848, the first train rolled into Dover over the Morris and Essex Railroad.
Many settlers from England, Wales, and Cornwall came by the way of Connecticut and Long Island to mine the iron. They came to the area seeking economic opportunities, and during the potato famine of 1845, many Irish immigrants replaced the English and Welsh miners. They worked in the iron mines in Mine Hill and Wharton. Swedish immigrants settled in Dover in 1870s to work on the railroad. Many were tradesmen contracted to work the eastern end of the cut of the Dover and Rockaway Railroad. The Jewish immigrants began to settle in the 1870s after Leopold D. Schwartz became a successful businessman and resident of Dover in 1869. In the early 1900s, German immigrants established Dover's Germantown when the Gwenther Hosiery Mill opened facing Elm Street, filling 2 city blocks with 5 buildings. Many Spaniards left Spain after their Civil War of the 1930s and 40s and World War II. In the early 1900s, many Greeks fled their homeland, coming to America by boat via Ellis Island, escaping world wars, seeking peace and prosperity for their families.
Like many historic New Jersey town centers, downtown Dover was once a regional shopping destination. The area along Bassett Highway was the site of America's first in-town shopping center, once home to department stores like JCPenney and Woolworths. Unfortunately, the Dover Shopping Center ultimately could not compete with the advent of the Rockaway Town Square Mall. The suddenly empty store fronts were filled by Latino restaurants and stores that catered to Spanish-speaking clientele. African Americans participated in the Great Migration from 1916 to 1960s. They moved from the Jim Crow South to the northern states, looking for equality and opportunity. Some families moved north to the big cities like Newark, New Jersey, and then worked their way into Dover. In the late 1940s, a new wave of immigrants began to arrive in Dover from Latin America. In some cases, they were fleeing dire situations in their native countries. And in the 1950s, migration to Dover grew considerably. Soon, stores, restaurants, churches were organized by the Puerto Ricans. Cubans began to arrive in Dover in the early 60s. By the late 60s and early 70s, the Cuban community in Dover exceeded 350 families. A Cuban club was formed in the late 60s and
Colombians started to immigrate to Dover in the late 1960s to work in companies in which the labor forces were scarce. A small group of Dover Colombians, including Alfonso Lopez and other families from the areas of Morris County, formed Club Colombia in 1979 to promote the culture.
From the 1970s to the 1990s, immigrants from Ecuador, Chile, and Uruguay also came to Dover, attracted by better salaries and numerous companies requesting labor. They were large, prosperous companies which gave work to hundreds of immigrants. Dominicans. After the unrest caused by the death of the dictator Rafael Trujillo, many Dominicans immigrated to the United States. In the 1980s, Dominicans started to arrive in Dover, escaping high unemployment and political repression. The first Mexican immigrants came in the late 1960s. However, the majority of Mexican immigrants came in the 1990s. In the 1980s, and still to this present day,
today, Dover is a vibrant town filled with many people from diverse cultures and traditions.
For visitors, a great way to get to know the town and its people is by eating at the many restaurants representing Latino cuisines. Dover's multiculturalism makes it a unique place in Morris County. The hardworking people and more welcoming atmosphere help the town grow day by day. This is the story of 300 years generations of families who have remained in town, combined with the many families who have come here and continue to come here. This is our home.
Today, there is a growing interest in helping our youth prepare for advanced education. Programs like Escucha, Youth Mentorship Program, sponsored by the Educational Center Incorporated and Dover College Promise, run through the County College of Morris, were created to prepare students for college and teach them the value of giving back to their community. Service projects like the recently created Dover River Trail at Waterworks Park enriched both of our team members and their town. Developing young leaders, college-ready students, and active citizens is the key to Dover's future.